Hello, all. How are we doing? I'm freaking spantastic. I feel very gross, actually. This is me and all of my combination post editing, post eating, post. Just a whole bunch of shenanigans. The Halloween special is delayed till tomorrow, probably. Unless I somehow work a miracle and finish editing it before midnight. But it will obviously not be posted until after this live stream because it hasn't gone live yet. And I would never post something that conflicts with a live stream at the same time. That would be just silly. The reason why is because of a few things. First off, I wrestled with the idea of simul-posting in one day 2 different things, that being the stream and that being the video. And since we have a standing cocktail hour on Saturdays as of right now, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I don't really like posting 2 in the same day. So instead of, well, it'll be a Halloween special, obviously, but instead of on Halloween, it'll be, I think tomorrow's All Saints Day, if I'm not mistaken. It's still a celebration of death and something in some manner, but it's not quite Halloween, which is fine because last year's Halloween special was posted the day before Halloween, so it's not like I'm actually setting a precedent. So long as it's around this time of the year, I think I'm good. But the reason why, and I'll share my screen with you so that you know exactly that it is a thing. Like, here's all of the different things and all of the footage and all of the little graphics and shit. The problem is this part right here, the graphics, the going around the world aspect, that was a bitch to figure out what I wanted to do with that and how to do it. In addition to the fact that halfway through the project, I realized the undertaking that I had taken under my wing and that I was overly ambitious in what it is that I wanted to deliver. So I had to rework something midway through scripting, and then that went into editing and looking for, you're good, and looking for graphics for that. So the project did change halfway through working through the project. And as a result, I became less excited about it and less passionate about it. It's still going up. It's just, I feel bad that I'm not as passionate about this one, because I was at the beginning. But, you know, shit happens. But let's not dwell on that. It's Halloween. Babe, you're good. You can make noise.
Because I had to resist violently swearing.
Oh my gosh, do you need a first aid kit?
No, good.
Like, we have Band-Aids in the closet.
I'm busy. I'm too busy.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. You're bleeding.
Violently, because I felt it on my face and I was like, did I just scratch a zit or something? No, yeah, I sliced my finger up.
Oh god. Yeah, I kicked El Boyfriendo out of the room for the next hour and a half, 2 hours while we do the Weebo live so that there wouldn't be any distractions. But of course, he's still working on moving all of his game stuff so that he can game in the other room. But yeah, that's all my fault. Oopsie. Anyway, so yes, the Halloween special will be going live tomorrow. I literally just have to add the graphics, the music, the fun little extras. Everything is, not narrowed down, but edited down. Hang on, let me move my face over so that it's not all the way in the corner. Hi, Polly.
Hello, Weebo.
I'm talking about how you've inspired me to be delayed in my posting of a video. No, I'm just kidding.
It's always good to be inspirational.
I guess that's one way to put it. Yeah, no, my Halloween special is probably going to be out tomorrow rather than today, which I know I said today, but unless you guys want some shoddy ass editing, patience is a virtue.
Let me pick an otter that's in a costume. Hold on here. I'm looking at my otter folder.
I'm a hippie today. Can you tell by the headband and the flowers?
I was going to say something, but I thought like you would just like.
It's a very low effort hippie costume. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't have like I don't know, some mood crystals or some incense to burn or.
Hang on, I can burn a candle.
Cool.
It smells like mold cider.
Oh. Nice.
Weebo's costume is not art teacher. Okay, just because I look like a teacher now does not mean that I'm a teacher. Also, my least favorite thing, all right, is the fact that I cannot escape that teacher life, yo. You don't understand. Ever since I started getting jobs, all I've gotten were jobs in academia, imparting wisdom upon people in some form or fashion.
Like?
So I used to be a tutor. I used to be a technology instructor. I'm IT now, but most of that job is just walking people through the step-by-step process of how to do this thing. So it's basically teaching. And now I look like a teacher. I can't escape this life. I come from a long line of teaching people. My brother teaches music. My aunt taught violin. My grandmother taught elementary school. My cousin taught violin too. Oh no, my candle is dead.
Teaching people.
Yeah. And apparently, I can't escape that life. Big sad. How are you doing, Polly, this fine Halloween evening?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I know what I'll do. I'll rip off Jordans.
Do it.
It's funny. I've got several Christmas otters. I have a Thanksgiving pilgrim otter, but I don't have a Halloween otter. I mean, I've got the otter in several costumes, like in a smoking jacket, but that's not a costume. That's just evening wear.
Unplug it. You know that, right? You can make noise. Oh my god. I told my boyfriend that he couldn't be in the room while I streamed anymore. And now he's being a drama queen about it. Ah. God damn it. No, I didn't receive complaints. It's a little bit distracting to have someone talking to their friends in the background while I'm talking to you in the background.
No.
It's just a little bit. And I felt bad. I felt like I wasn't.
It's that I'm certain nobody noticed last week at all.
It was a little bit distracting.
Maybe.
So now he's being a drama queen about it. But he's being very entertaining.
Okay,
and he presented me with his coveted nut button, so he's not that mad.
Nut button.
The nut button.
Nut. Oh.
The nut button.
Okay.
So happy Halloween, Polly.
You know what? It's funny you say that. I was talking to somebody just last night. I may have been pre-gaming. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got my costume sitting right there. I'm leaving shortly after this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. My costume's exceptionally easy to put on. Remember I said I'm going as Patrick Bateman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you
so
gonna
it's just
split yourself with blood too?
Yes.
Like fake blood?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went to the party store 2 days ago and bought a tube of fake blood. So my hands and prop knife will be covered in blood, as well as a few strategic splashes on my face, which is going to take all of like 90 seconds to do.
Wait, are you going for high velocity blood spatter or low velocity or medium velocity? It really matters, Polly.
Well, I know, and hold on. I have brushes, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to dip the brush in the blood because I tried this out on paper to see if it would work. Dip the brush in blood, and I've got a very stiff brush. I'm going to go like that, so it'll give me like a high velocity blood splatter up the face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to be on my face, and I'm going to put that on before I put on my suit, because it's a nice suit, and I'm not interested in getting blood all over the white shirt that makes it up.
That's fair. If it's
and it looks like a suit that could fit into the 1980s, because I'm into timeless fashion.
Timeless fashion.
Yes.
But yes, it's very important that you get the blood spatter velocities just exactly right. Otherwise, it's not that convincing.
No.
Sorry, it's just not.
And I had to, Jesus. And I had to Photoshop in here. Hey, what is going on? Oh, I see what's happening. Never mind. Okay.
Pick your damn out of personality already.
Photoshop's just being a fucking. Okay, what was I talking about?
You were talking about your party that you're going to, or you were talking about how I look like a hippie, or.
Yeah, you know what? You're gonna have to like fill the role of hippie a little bit more. Like you got like a candle and tie-dyed headband. Sure.
This is a flowery headband.
Flowery headband. Like you're not gonna like play the part. You're not gonna offer us any, 5th grade level reasoning on how world peace should happen. You're not gonna
play a part. Polly, that's exactly what the audience wants. Why would I give that to them?
Because there's the wait, what?
How's that for 5th grade logic?
That doesn't make sense at all.
You gotta rage against the machine, man.
Yeah, like Rage Against the Machine and be part of the system while complaining.
Showering is for losers who are part of the system.
Yes.
It's all about that earthy smell.
It's all about that smell.
Mm-hmm. Bask in your own scent, man.
Oh, okay. So yeah, happy Halloween. Now,
yeah.
Merry Christmas, I understand. Happy Thanksgiving, I understand. Shouldn't it be like frightening Halloween or scary Halloween? Like,
no.
Why would you want someone happy during Halloween? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because think about it, right? Halloween is a harvest holiday. And the idea behind the harvest is that you have enough food to get you through the winter and still maybe make some profit off of it. So you want a happy harvest, happy Halloween. Also, that's typically when a lot of people's dead family members come back to haunt them. So you want them to be happy, because if not, I've seen enough horror movies to know what happens with an unhappy ghost. Can confirm.
Okay.
My state is in lockdown mode actually right now, so I can't really go out and do anything Halloween-y. So I'm not super in the spirit of happiness.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going on a bar crawl or anything of the sort. It's like, are you wearing a mask? And it's like, yeah, I guess. Whatever now. Okay, there.
Did you fix it? I don't
Sort
see
of.
it.
Well, I haven't. I don't think whatchamacallit. The StreamYard here allows me to paste in. I might have to save it and then upload it. We'll have to see. Edit audio avatar. Go over here. Delete this one. Delete. Add.
I like how he narrates chat. He has to go through the step-by-step motions of what he's doing as he's doing it to fill the silence, because he's not super interested in conversing with me at the same time, or he can't, which speaks to his intelligence level.
You can go ahead and turn this on me all you want. If you hear silence, you are the host. You're to fill it.
We are co-hosts in this, so any silence to be fell upon this show is a joint effort here. Plus, I keep the show going until you show your happy ass into the stream most nights, if at all.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. You do the heavy lifting. It says Weebo Jones, not Weebo and Polly at the bottom. It's clearly you. I mean, Halloween author. Yeah, I know. Destroyed you with facts and logic. It was pretty rough. Okay.
No. You came to me with the idea to do a show, my dude. Originally, you remember that? You remember?
Yeah, and I said, so whose channel are you gonna do it on? Obviously, you have more subs, so it's going to be on your channel. And you said, yeah. And that
we are still co-hosts. Your links are always in the description, even when you are not here.
Hey, boom.
Checkmate, atheist.
Apply. And
You still haven't
waiting.
finished yet?
No, I'm trying to upload it, and it's there. There it is.
Is that a zombie otter?
It's a zombie otter.
Did
I
you
stole
make
it from
that
Jordan
yourself?
250. No, I stole it from Jordan 250. I said
Oh,
that before
okay.
and just said it recently. Listen, woman.
Don't give me tood. This is my show.
You bitch. What the hell? Jesus.
Classic female ideology. Switch up the narrative as soon as it suits you better for the alternative to be the truth.
Right? No principles, only arguments of convenience.
Nope,
Right.
not a one. I personally love those little wiggle maneuvers that one makes when one is slightly backed into a corner.
Here, let me show you something.
Intellectually.
This is if you haven't seen it on the twit. There you go.
Oh boy.
Jordan 250 did this. He's very, very good.
Oh, nice. Everyone looks so disgustingly horrific.
Yeah. I don't know if you needed to make Ghastly, who's already a ghost, more horrifying, but okay.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
who freaks you out the most?
Alex holding his own head. That's pretty weird, man.
I don't know. The multiple mouths on Monkey's face kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But
pretty
to be
gross.
quite honest, Satsu's wolf.
Really,
face,
the wolf is the one that does it to you.
It's something with the eyes. If something's gonna freak me out, it's gonna come from the eyeballs.
Really, you don't think the otter with this weirdo sunken in hyper beady eyes is kind of creepy? I think that's kind of creepy.
Not really, because don't otters already have beady eyes?
Well, they do. They do have small eyes, but
Yeah.
not like that. Fuck. And
Yeah,
they're certainly
no,
not blue.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me as much as like Satsu's eyes or Ghastly's eyes in this. It's in the eyes.
All
It
right.
really is. What's the giggle snort count, says Brad Young. Are we counting my giggle snorts? Oh boy. Thank you the next 6 minutes for the donation over on the Streamlabs. So, your University Fall Festival palm reader this Halloween. Dig it. What is my fortune for next month? Ha. Anywho, a very happy Halloween to you, weebs. I hope you had a super spoopy day, and don't forget to reset your clocks. That's right, it is daylight savings time. Polly,
Yes.
do we go forward or back?
Back. And it's only at 2 a.m. But is it 2 a.m. GMT, Eastern, Pacific? What?
Doesn't matter. You have to set your clocks back anyway, and by the time you wake up, everything will be synced up. No one's awake at 2 a.m. where they shouldn't be, Polly. No, I'm just kidding.
Quiet, you.
But it doesn't really matter because, like I said, in the morning, the time will be the same across the United States, will it not?
No, there's a time difference across the United States.
You know what I mean. The time will have changed across the United States. It will have standardized.
I guess. I mean, it just. So let me. I'm just okay. Think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's go.
If the Terminator between night and day or 2 a.m. is just moving along, right?
Yes.
And it becomes 2 a.m. in one time zone, but the other one has not yet. That means it will be the same time in two time zones.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, that's the way that it is. And if it is that way, okay, but that's a weird hour where it's the same time in two time zones.
The time is the exact same in two different time zones, but ultimately it doesn't make that much of a difference.
Well, how adorable is this?
Incredibly.
Yeah, Manic sent this, tweeted this at me and said, "Happy Halloween, happy Halloween, Manic." Oh my God, how adorable is this? Look at that little guy.
I wish I had an animal caricature so people could just send me shit. No, I have to be adorable on my own.
Well,
okay there?
Well done.
Queen of self-compliments. Yeah.
But no, I have to be adorable on my own. I just... Jesus Christ.
Oh, Polly, did you know that this year Halloween falls on Friday the 13th?
What'd you just say?
Have you ever heard someone use that on you?
Use what? Your mic cut out. I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, I said this year Halloween falls on Friday the 13th.
Really?
Yeah. True story, bro.
And who actually stopped short to think about that?
Sometimes people do. I was hoping I could get you just like a little bit. Maybe next year I'll try it. See if I can get it. Maybe not on Halloween. Maybe it'll work better then. Forget this night ever happened. Oh, Tana Hauser says, I look pregnant.
What?
Funny story. I'm not.
What's funny about that? There, I finally got chat up there. Hey, chat, how's it going?
I think he's calling me fat.
Yeah, that kind of sounded like. So when are you expecting?
30 minutes from now when I make a trip to the John. I might not be pregnant, but I feel like it a little bit. I had a hot chocolate earlier.
Gross.
A hot chocolate?
No. What? Yeah. That's the problem. I'm going to go to the John. I feel pregnant. I mean, there's also, I'm an imaginative man.
He had to bring it up, so I'm going to make it worse.
He brought up pregnancy, not volcanic diarrhea. Jesus.
But you should know that that's not what I meant. That is not at all what I meant. Hang on. I feel like you have a woeful misrepresentation of what it's like to give birth in your head right now. Let me just clear that up for you. I saw that video in health in 7th grade. I know what it looks like.
They're
not anything like explosive diarrhea, all right? The baby does not come out in chunks.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I didn't say it did, but, there's the whole,
That's the implication, though.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's.
No, it's not. That wasn't the implication.
That's what.
Oh, shit. I left my laptop on and the battery's dead. Completely.
Take it there. Well, you should plug it in then, buddy.
I am going to.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
There aren't any Germans in this chat. That routine is for a different crowd. Wow. All right, yeah, you're right. We should probably move away from that topic. I made things awkward. I realized that. I can't take it back. We can only move forward, so let's... So
hold on, I got a picture for you there, Weebo.
Oh, you have a picture for me?
No, I got a picture there for you.
I was just about to ask you how you were.
I'm fine. All right, so.
Mm-hmm. I'm fine. So back to what I want to talk about.
I got.
Where's the picture?
It's coming.
I want it now, Polly.
Yeah, I know. So let's just. Well, something went wrong. Try again. Twitter told me.
You should try it again then.
I did click try again.
You should try it one more time. See if it works this time. I believe in you. You can do it.
I love this. Election results may be delayed. With the increase of voting by mail, the announcement may not be available election nights. This means you could encounter unconfirmed claims that a candidate has won their race Thanks, Twitter.
I've heard several things. One of those things was I can't remember exactly what part of the country. I think it was in the South somewhere. Voting was going to continue, or not voting, but the counting of votes was going to continue 9 days after November 3rd. Due to
Sort of. There was a court ruling that votes could be counted that were postmarked, etc. It's very technical or very detailed in terms of the postmarking and so forth. But yes, that's where that number, I would imagine you heard, comes from. Yeah, stuff that was received up to but postmarked before, up to 9 days after the election, can still be counted.
And that to me makes absolutely no sense, because aren't those votes due November 3rd?
What are you saying, bigot?
Aren't voting numbers due November 30th? Like, isn't that the day that they're going to announce who won?
No, oh God, you sweet summer child. No, there's no.
If I remember correctly, 2016.
When Donald Trump stole the election, yes.
The votes were counted up, and the announcement was made the day that, like, the day of.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's why I'm like, and smart political scientists only give odds. They never give numbers. That's why, any of the people that tell you what's going to happen on YouTube or news entertainer corporate channels are full of shit. They're telling you, here's what's going to happen. I give 75%, so 75-25, that there will be no result the night of the election, because the Democrats already claimed that they're not going to have repeatedly said that we will contest everything until all the votes are in. Joe Biden asked during a debate, are you going to accept the results of an election? The effect of his words were, when it's done fairly and every vote is counted, of course I will. When every vote is counted, well, what happens when you continue to complain that not every vote is counted because they're still coming in? Oh my God, we found another 30,000 votes for me hiding underneath a truck. Like, this sort of bullshit. So on it will go. And as we know, it's not going to be like the entire country, because, electoral college, it's going to be state by state. So it'll be in particular, look what happened in the election between George W. Bush and Al Gore with Florida, where Florida was the deciding vote, and it took forever for them, and they came very, very close in terms of the amounts of votes casted for each candidate. So, excuse me, sorry. They had to keep counting the infamous hanging chads and so forth.
What year was that? I don't remember that year.
No, I mean, that's fine. It's not a matter of remembering it. It's just like, in poli-sci, you go over it in great detail, because
it was two when it was Bush versus Gore. What?
I'm sorry?
It was December. Oh, no, that's a decision. So it's beating Florida's 2000. God, how do I fucking say that year? 2000 presidential election between George Bush and
Al Gore. You just go over it in like political science. It's going to end up coming up.
Yeah, no, I've taken all of one political science class.
That's fine.
My entire existence. So I don't remember that. And I wouldn't, because I was only 2 when that was a thing.
Yeah, if you want to get depressed, think about the outcomes of it, right? If you want to be one of those people that's arguing that the country's falling apart, it's like, how was that election ultimately decided? Well, they kept pushing, like it looked like it was going for George W. Bush. Shouldn't we keep it going longer? We should need to keep recounting. And ultimately it went to the Supreme Court, and all of the whining, complaining people on the Democrat side said that the only reason that George W. Bush won that election, he functionally stole that election, because it was decided by the Supreme Court that was stuffed with justices put in there by his father, George H.W. Bush. And it's like, yeah, I know. It's nobody whines and complains about election results that don't go their way more than Democratic supporters. I mean, holy shit, are they it seems like they're endemically babies, that their worldview is that of a whining toddler.
Woo! Spicy hot take. Tell us how you really
Well,
feel. Polydub.
Well, I really actually don't like going the route of like the left is like this. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't see it. Like JFK's election in 1960, there's a bunch of ways you can look at it as being kind of corrupt, as being kind of fixed, especially what was happening in and around Chicago, the way that different, there were. There is no large amount of people that are constantly talking about how JFK stole the election, how it was rigged. It's just discussed as a matter of like historical fact. There's evidence of this, there's evidence of that, and sort of like moving on. They don't turn into he stole the election, it's all you guys his father. Oh my God, Trump was aided by Russia because 14 ads were put up on fake. No, we need to start a massive investigation. Oh, we're living under tyranny.
It feels like all of the okay. So while I do hate lumping in people with groups or lumping groups of people together in that respect, it does seem that there's an overwhelming amount of grasping at straws from many people who see themselves as more leftist than right.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I just I do see a lot of whininess from both sides, though. Not like specifically regarding elections, but just in general is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Although I've only been
there's just pretending that there isn't a lot of whining from everybody. Yes, but no more so than from the Democrats and their supporters. It's crazy, especially because of the moralizing attempts. This guy, Donald Trump, is all of these bad things, and all of these horrible things are going on, and we need to stop Judge Kavanaugh, and we need to stop Amy Coney Barrett. And it's like, why? Whatever reasons we can come up with are good enough. But with Brett Kavanaugh, because he's a mass rapist, he's raping all the things. Jesus Christ, he raped that statue of Ronald McDonald's. Like,
can't take his dick out.
Oh my God!
Long enough to sit here and take our bullshit.
Yeah, like it was just like, and what is the evidence that wasn't recanted by the people that offered it? It was only one person, Christine Ford, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. She's the only one who didn't recant, and her evidence was recovered memories that she recovered in therapy. She hadn't remembered it until she had gone through regression memory recovery therapy. And this is your evidence? Like, but and it didn't have where she said it happened. There never was such a place. There was never any parties there. Like all the details were all like foggy and wrong. But again, it's like hashtag believe all women. You can't interrogate blah blah blah. And it's like, no, you can absolutely interrogate a witness. That's the entire basis of the system of jurisprudence. And it seems like the evidence is remarkably thin. And let's keep in mind that this isn't a fucking trial to determine whether or not Kavanaugh is a rapist, but whether or not he should be nominated to the Supreme Court. It hasn't even been demonstrated in a court of law that this guy's a rapist at all. And they turned his confirmation hearings into a fucking quasi weirdo kangaroo rape court.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, whatever. So that's what happened. Let's move on to Amy Coney Barrett. Well, what happened with her? It's like the real beef was, we don't want you to nominate a judge because we think Joe Biden has a very good chance of winning. That being the case, we would rather not see Donald Trump making that decision. We would rather see somebody that's going to nominate somebody that we would like on the Supreme Court more. That's the actual reason. And that's reasonable when you're coming from a given political position. That's your call. But that's not what they make it about. Oh, it's because she's Catholic and she's going to rob us of all of our women's rights. And oh my God, we're living under a theocracy. Oh, fuck off.
Have women lost their rights yet? Do you know? You obviously seem to be more politically savvy about this kind of stuff than I am. So, and I live under a rock. Have we lost our rights yet?
Not that I know of.
It's been a bit since she was confirmed. Is that the right word? Yeah, confirmed. Yes. So, am I back to pre-suffragette movement life or not?
Don't ever try and get an abortion, because as soon as she was nominated, the first thing she did was send out an edict that no more abortions for anybody, because government works that way.
No, that's not how that works.
How do you live under, like, we live under a theocracy? It's a theocracy when the undisputed and unremovable leader of a country is also the leader of the state-enforced church. And the rules of the state-enforced church are the rules of law. That's a theocracy by definition. Do you know what a theocracy is? People have thrown that word. Of course they don't know what that word means. It sounds bad. Oh, it's an oligarchy. It's a plutocracy. It's a theocracy. It's 5 other isms and phobes and ocracies that I heard about at some time from somebody on Twitter. Retweet.
Dictatorship, Polly.
Yeah, I know.
We're practically living in feudal times.
Well, I know that the baron that offers me the land to live on is a good man.
Same.
I did it.
I don't even have to till the soil.
You don't?
Nah.
Okay, maybe my baron's not such a good man.
No, I just have to vacuum the hallways and sweep them out every once in a while. And maybe, like, do the lawn and shovel the...
do the lawn.
To do the lawn. It's not quite tilling the soil. It's close, but not...
Yeah, well, truth be told, I'd rather have to be a lawn care person than a soil tiller, definitely.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a lot harder to till soil than mow lawn. I've done both before. With like massive hulking gas-driven machines. And I gotta tell you, I'd rather do the lawn than till the soil.
Next 6 minutes was like fractions of a second ahead of me. I was just about to read some Streamlabs here from the next 6 minutes. Thank you very much, Six, for the donation. Happy Halloween to you, Polly. I don't really have anything clever to say. I look forward to the next comic book curation and noir bar. If you wanted to invite a certain 6 units of the immediate future to the next week's stream, I'm on vacation right now. Wake. That's good. Certain 6 units of the immediate future. Okay. Well, you know what? We are getting set up for post triple digit comic book curations. Weebo's already been volunteered for
Oh. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, remember when you bought that slate of comics and I told you that you got to come on and talk about them?
Yeah, I did.
You, by telling me you bought comics, you volunteered to come on comic book curation. And it's in the fine print.
Oh, I don't know that I signed a contract.
Well, I wrote one up. Your signage is implied.
Oh. Lie. I don't think that'll hold up in a court of law there, Polly.
It's fine. The courts are out because of COVID.
Okay. Then we're good.
Because what happened was last Wednesday was supposed to be our 100th episode of Comic Book Curation, but Inquisitor had scheduling problems, which I understand because the guy he's working unbelievable shifts right now, like 12 on, 12 off, and then 4 12s in a row, and then suddenly getting called in for like a 14-hour shift when he thought he had the day off. Like man, the guy
I hate that.
Right? He's putting in the hours, man. So that happened to him again. So we are IRL and URL often meet and confusion runs asunder. Lion Patriot, thank you very much for the $10. Thank you very much, Lion Patriot. Let's give money to Polly so he can buy a new tater. Then Weebo will not have to wait for pictures. Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to show pictures, wasn't I?
You were. I don't know what happened to that.
Well, hold on.
So I actually I have a point that I wanted to bring up that I was curious about. So we were talking about Blase Ford, Christine Blase Ford, triple name bitch from the Kavanaugh case, and you'd made mention about like recovered memories from therapy, and how they weren't really reliable. Does that happen quite often in court cases, and is that reliable enough that people actually are believed and others are proven guilty on that account alone?
I highly doubt that you could make a blanket statement. I'd be willing to bet that if you looked into if you looked into the situation, like how many times have recovered memories been used in court cases, I'd be willing to bet that a judge sometimes ruled them as inadmissible because of expert testimony, that they weren't reliable. Other times, yes. But I mean, you got an interesting way of paring it down to just like that was the lone evidence upon which they were convicted. That's the question in hand. I don't know.
Well, because there was a
I'd
time
like to think not.
when we didn't have video evidence and the ability to chemically test someone's DNA to see if they were present at the scene of a crime or look at their fingerprints. Like there was a time when witness testimony was the one thing that put a person away. And I know that typically the more witnesses you have, the stronger your case. But like there have been incidences where one witness's testimony does put someone away. I'm not saying that that's right, but in cases where that testimony might have been recovered memories, do you think that would still be substantial enough? Memory is fallible, Race Jacobson. But there was a time when we didn't have evidence like DNA, video, etc. Like I said. So. Also, if they were recovered memories and she did believe them to be true, not saying that she did, but like in the event that she did, do you think, I don't know, someone just worked some mojo jojo on her with the hypnotism and like put those memories in her brain? Could that be the next Clinton conspiracy there?
Maybe.
Yeah.
So somebody put them in her brain. Yeah, no, I get your point.
I think someone out there thinks that that's the case. Because I know people believe in hypnotism. I've personally never been hypnotized, but like supposedly my dad has, or someone tried to, and nada, or something. I don't know. I don't think I could be hypnotized, though, even if it were a thing. Weird side tangent. Sorry. I'm just thinking out loud. Implanted memories. Now, where have I heard those words? Says cynical Lindsay. Yeah, fair. I'm just thinking out loud. Oh my. Now, who is this lovely lady? Did I get it right?
No. I just love that you asked it as a question. That was great.
Because I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, hang on. That could be those lips make it seem like potentially. And that hair definitely, but the rest of everything else, especially the ears and the nose, are giving me an alternative perspective. So who is this fine gentleman?
Oh, you're wrong there too.
What?
This person this person is and this is one of the reasons that I wanted to discuss this. This individual is Masha Green. Masha Green.
It?
They, non-binary.
It.
Yeah. They is a Russian-American journalist, author, translator, and activist who has been an outspoken critic of the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, and the president of the United States, Donald Trump. Gesson is non-binary and trans and uses they/them pronouns.
Point of conflict.
Now, see, here was the issue that I wanted to bring up. How is it possible for somebody to be trans and non-binary at the same time? Isn't there an inherent conflict there?
Trans part of transsexual or transgender implies that you are going from one to the other. Trans is literally the prefix that means transition.
Yes.
So that means that there is a before and after. You cannot be in a constant state of in between. That's not how that works. The non-binary means that you have, not that I agree with this, but it means that you have just forgone either or. You are neither this nor that. And so therefore you cannot be in the in-between state. Because that implies that you're going to make the eventual decision to go one side or the other.
One would think. So this this person.
That's the idea.
Hold on. This person was
like
one. What?
Now that
What's
I've been black-pilled, this looks more like a lizard person.
This is, I wouldn't say this is a terribly attractive person, but they're going out of their way to do the whole, like, I'm non-binary. I'm not going to dress. I'm going to dress like confusingly gender fuck into the middle of it. And I'm going to have the shaved sides of the head. And I'm going to wear the problem glasses and I'm no makeup. And no, she doesn't makeup. Excuse me. I'm going to be as hideous as I possibly can. It's just, yes. I mean, that's a very, whether it's hideous or not, that is a very severe looking person. Anyway, this is one of the people that Jeffrey Toobin was jerking off to on that Zoom meeting.
Oh?
Yeah, not to, but witnessed Jeffrey Toobin jerking it during that. This individual is a writer and editor at the New Yorker. Who's surprised?
Not me.
Why would you be surprised? How did you, a gender non-binary Jewish Russian outspoken critic of Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump who writes constantly on LGBTQ issues and rolls around being as my entire identity is to be gay, all the gay. Wait a minute. No, I'm not gay. I'm non-binary. You bigot. Stop calling me that. But you said you were gay a little while ago. Well, I'm non-binary now. Okay. Well, now I'm trans. Wait, you can't be trans and non-binary. Don't tell me how to identify myself, bigot. Like, wow. That person is a writer and editor for the New Yorker. That's a fucking shocker.
You're overcomplicating this. We live in the 21st century. All right. Anyone can be anything.
Apparently. And in going over this little thing, I did come down to this, which I think is quite funny. Where is it? Personal life. Okay. Gessin, the individual in question, married Svetlana Generalova, a Russian citizen who was involved in the LGBT movement in Moscow in 2004. The wedding took place in the U.S. By the time Gessin returned to the U.S. from Russia in 2013, they were married to Daria Orshinka. Wait, okay, that is oddly written. Gessin has 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter. How?
They were kidnapped Russian children. People like to source Russian children from Russia to bring back to other places.
Gessin has 3 children. Their daughter, Yolka, was born to Gessin in the U.S. in 2001. Their 3rd son was born in 2012. But she's married to Svetlana Generalova.
Don't worry about it. You're thinking about it too much. Either Svetlana has a pee-pee, or it is an open marriage. But that also begs the question of who, or what kind of person would put their dick in that lizard person? These are the questions we should be asking.
The Man Without a Face, her writing on Vladimir Putin here. I love this. It's like the New York Review of Books describes the book as on Vladimir Putin. So basically it's a Putin biography. Beautifully clear and eloquent English. At heart, a description of the secret police milieu. Also, very good at evoking the culture and atmosphere in which Putin was raised and the values he claims to espouse. The Guardian called it luminous. The Telegraph called it courageous.
Courageous.
Are you talking about the author? Because I think you're talking about the fucking author.
How does that kill me?
Are you sure?
I don't think any of these people have the nerve to criticize this book because of who wrote it. That's what I think. An outgoing person who's an activist and is charitable and is LGBT in every way that somebody can be. The only thing that at some point in her life she hasn't claimed to be is a furry. No, because she was gay in her earlier life. She was gay and then became trans and then became non-binary and is married to women, but yet has had and do you think any of these people have the fucking nerve to criticize this person?
No, of course not.
And that's what I'm saying. He's like, describe the book as luminous and courageous. You're talking about the author, and you fucking well know it. I love it. At the bottom, CIA officer John Ehrman, in his review, stated, as a biography, it is satisfactory, but no more than that. Little of what Gessen say has anything new in it. He described her images as, quote, effective as anti-Putin propaganda. Yeah, it just sounds like, I mean, she didn't like being in Moscow, and there's a strong anti-gay milieu, according to the New York Review of Books, in Moscow, which I absolutely believe. Yeah, I got no trouble believing that.
What?
Right? So
in Moscow?
Yeah. So and so she writes this book as anti-Putin propaganda, and she's angry at everything going on over there. So then, since you came to a refugee camp in the United States and obtained U.S. citizenship, it's time to follow the Ilhan Omar pattern of
assimilation.
Of refugee assimilation in the United States, which means accept the United States for all its generosity and then call it an inherently bigoted, racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic hellhole that needs to be torn down. Fuck this place. Fuck this place.
Bite the hand that feeds.
Yeah. Because it's would any journalist out there have the nerve to put they, them, whatever to the questions of you're constantly equating Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and the countries that they reside in. Are you trying to say that you think that there is a possibility of equating the United States to Russia in terms of LGBT status within the country?
Well,
I'm
not saying there is, but there could be someday if we leave that dictator in power.
And I'll tell you the out that's always used, because this is modern news entertainment, right?
Yeah.
It's because one is different than the other doesn't mean that both can't be improved. Because now they're putting you in the place of trying to say that the United States is perfect. And it's like, okay, you avoided the question.
Mm-hmm.
You avoided the question because you equate the two. Do you think they can actually be equated? And then you put them on the hot seat of saying they're pretty much the same person. I want, in terms of Trump and Putin, I mean, and I want more and more. I mean, elected Democratic leaders have repeatedly called, like these are members of Congress, have repeatedly called Vladimir Putin Trump's proxy. He's out there as his delegate and his representative. And it's that's how you know Congress is in a really, really, really bad spot of people want to be blackpilled about the state of government. It's statements like that make me blackpilled. You're constantly laying out insults to the president of the United States that are as unfounded as fuck, that are actually disproven or not proven by the investigation that you yourself demanded and supported, the Mueller investigation. Mm-hmm. And like, well, Putin, the evidence is there that they did want Trump to win. Yeah, but now the evidence is there that they want Joe Biden to win, and they are doing things in support of Joe Biden. Especially Iran is doing covert activities in support of Joe Biden. Does that mean that the mullahs and the Khomeinis in Iran are acting as proxies of Joe Biden? Do you have the nerve to say that, elected puppet? No, you don't. And that's the bad state of Congress. We can actually talk about the president this way because we currently don't like them. There's no principle. There's only arguments of convenience we're willing to take to the ragged edge of stupidity. Okay, there will be a Democrat elected eventually. A Democrat will be in the White House eventually. And now look at the state you've set, the standard you have lowered things to. But that's Trump's fault. In the era of Trump, these things were so lowered that we had to. So, I mean, like every one of these people that act like this, my God. And I do believe that is the whole point of a free press, is to hold these people accountable. But when the majority of the press agree with these fucking scumbags and won't hold them to task and ask the very question that I just did, would you be comfortable with unfounded statements like that coming from your Republican colleagues aimed at the next Democrat in the White House? If you were an elected official going into an interview and you goddamn well know you might get asked questions like that, you're not going to say dumb shit like that. You say shit like that because you know you're on MSNBC or CNN and you're at home and you're comfortable, because who the fuck's going to hold your feet to the fire? And that's why Republicans go on Fox, Democrats go on everywhere else. Pick your news, pick your reality. Fucking hell.
So, before we get into it again.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, thank you for the donation. I'm a liberal, and I say the USA is one of the most welcoming countries on the planet, and objectively, we live in the safest time in all of human history. I mean, you're not wrong in the sense that, at least for most of the first world, most of the time, I don't know if 2020 can be counted amongst those statistics. I'd have to
What
look
for safety? Why? Because of the
in
riot?
terms of like safety, security, and welcoming.
Well,
And-
welcomingness is a broad statement. In terms of safety and security, crime is still a little low. Now,
Mhm.
that's little comfort to anybody who lives anywhere near one of these rioting fuckers that
That's
are
what I was talking about.
Yeah, well, but that's actually a small group of people. Remember, the United States has, a third of a billion people in it. It's
Well, yes, that is a very small group of people, but they're a very vocally violent minority of people. And it doesn't take a lot of people to utterly devastate an entire, not society, but I mean, like, an entire community of people. Like, property damage, it only takes a very, very strategic target to have been broken down in order for that area to kind of collapse in terms of production. I mean, I don't know, you burn a whole ass buildings that are super important, like I don't know, a sewage treatment plant, or well, okay, the whole point is you commit an act of terrorism that is strategic. The you can take out that community and utterly devastate them, and it no longer becomes a safe place because people are combating for resources in such a way.
I would agree with you insofar as that if you to employ a little military terminology, if you strike at critical nodes of infrastructure,
Mhm.
you can cripple an area, but these are LARPers. These are looters.
Yes, that is fair.
Like the revolutionary LARPers aren't organized enough to do something like that. They're just looking to cause shock and violence. Liberals get the bullet too. Blah blah blah. they're social media morons.
But
When I say social media morons, I'm not trying to say they limit their activities to social media. I'm saying they do things IRL to be noticed on social media and be talked about there. That's the extent of it. Are there terrorist organizations out there that are smart enough to know that you don't strike people, you strike water treatment plants, you strike power grids? Yeah, of course there are. But those are, these are not the looters who are after, as we've seen in Philadelphia, Walmart's flat screen TVs, et cetera. They're after commercial goods. And the LARPers, they're after standing in groups and circles saying, "This is what democracy looks like."
well, yeah, but even if you don't strike a critical node of a person's community, you can also, in protesting, block off critical access to these areas in order for people to get the necessary goods that they need to both live and prosper, especially for small business owners. I mean, if they can't conduct their business safely, they shut down, they go under, they don't come back, and that community is marred in some way. You do that enough times, and you put a community out of commission for a very long time.
Oh, think they know I'm here.
Thank you to Mr. Tickle Trunk again for the donation. And I'm a Canadian. Literally millions are banging at the door to become Americans themselves because of how non-judgmental most of it actually is. I wouldn't know. I've been here all my life.
What I think is a critical point that a lot of people seem to lose sight of is that the majority of people don't know anything about any of this. Hunter Biden's laptop, the last thing that the whole point in saturating media with a given narrative is to have it trickle down to everybody because they know that people aren't, by and large, political news junkies.
Yeah.
Right. We are oddballs by having a general idea of what's going on, vague idea of what's going on in terms of not what's actually going on. I'm talking about like the narratives that are prevalent in news media. And if you can name different news sources and the ways that they obviously lean and who their favorite candidates are, if you can name 2 people from the squad, that means you have a vague grip on what's going on in terms of news entertainment narratives. Most people don't, because they have, jobs and lives and dreams and hobbies and lovers and families and
every other thing to interest them under the sun.
Right. Them. Well, no. Ours is well, you know what? I don't know. You tell me. Is endlessly focusing on the small things in the world really like who's distracting themselves? People that are living their lives, or people that are hyper focused on what retards are saying? Well, I meant.
Well, okay, so
I just can't use the R word that morons are saying on Twitter.
I'm not saying that IRL stuff is a distraction in itself, just to distract them from this other thing that they could potentially be spending time focusing on. Politics itself can be a distraction from real life stuff. It really depends on, I guess, how you're phrasing it. What I meant is real life is a nice distraction from all of the bullshit that politics is.
Quiet phone. I agree with Lion Patriot.
Sorry, I'll turn it off. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk, for the donation again. And I'm a child of refugees. U.S. and Canada are hard. Oh, thank you. I guess appreciate the love for the U.S. It is my
let me point out 2 separate categories, and the same countries happen to be in both those categories point for point. Think about this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Western countries,
yes,
largely white population, liberal democracies,
mm-hmm.
no matter whether they be a parliamentary democracy or a constitutional republic, what have you, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have huge refugee programs and a line of refugees and potential immigrants, people that just want to relocate to the given countries, right? Lines that are so long that there is an entire system of government established just to deal with the backlog and the decision-making process on who's going to be let in. And you think about that's true of a number of nations in the modern world, if you think about it. Those are also the countries that are described as being the bigots, the racists, irreparably xenophobic to their very core, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What is the blunt truth? In my opinion, multiculturalism is not for everybody. Multiculturalism is for the countries I just described. Unfettered immigration is not for everybody. It's not meant to be. It's for the countries I just described. It's almost like these are not real arguments. They're just cudgels to get what they want to happen. Those who are in favor of those given ideals, they want unfettered immigration. They want multiculturalism by any means. None of these people are screaming for multiculturalism in Saudi Arabia, which does not fit the descriptors I gave. None of these people are screaming for multiculturalism in Japan. Japan is a functioning ethno-state. It has written into its laws means by which Japan for the Japanese. They have extremely restrictive immigration laws that preference native Japanese people. It is a fully functioning ethno-state in the sense that ethnicity is a primary concern written into law as to who and for who and by who. Ethnicity is the main is a main factor. Same thing with Israel, a fully functioning ethno-state. Are these things demanded of these countries? No, they're not. It's only Western liberal democracies with largely white populations that have a free press, that have those things pressured upon them. Is multiculturalism a huge issue that's being pushed upon
any other
Niger?
Doesn't fit that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like name the country. It's not. It's because nobody else would respond to it. Is it for China? Let's just talk about the big one.
So you're saying that because there is an opening there, it is taken advantage of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I'll leave that to the sociologists as to why that is. I don't know. I don't know what the particular reason why that is. I would, if somebody were to make the argument that no country that any country that does not fit those definitions would not be willing to listen to those kind of criticisms. Yeah, that would be true.
Is it perhaps because of the I don't know how to frame that point exactly, but like the receptiveness, not the receptiveness, the precedent towards speech or being open to criticism? Does that, yeah, I still don't know how to frame this. Like, you know how we have freedom of speech in the United States, and to a lesser degree, some of these countries that you mentioned also have not the same degree, but a degree of openness and receptiveness to a lot of interesting language. Does that, do you think, contribute to that acceptance of criticism from others? Or is it just simply...
the means for making that criticism is possible. That type of, I highly doubt that. I mean, the means of making that criticism is more available, but there's no Chinese national guilt, whereas in Britain there's a white liberal guilt that's afoot. Yes, I would say that that's a factor that's at play. Assassin the Grace is Israel has multiple ethnicities with living within its borders. Well, the last thing that I want to get into a debate over is the notion of Jewish identity, which is complex as all hell. Ethnically Jewish, religiously Jewish, Ashkenazi, and the various subsets of that versus Sephardic and the various subsets of that. Not interested. So in the sense that different ethnicities of Jews as well as Arabs that live there and others that have Israeli citizenship live there, yes. My point is saying that it's a functioning ethno-state is taking the word ethnicity as it's used in Israel's constitutional documents to define Israel as a Jewish state, first and foremost. And it is, and the right of return to all Jews spread as it's defined by the government body that gets to define and deal with immigration and so forth under right of return are defining Jewish identity for right of return as they deem fit. So yeah, yes, there's multiple ethnicities defined one way. Defined another way for Jewish identity, which is all I mean to do here, is it is a state that is defined as the home land for the Jewish people. That is not the place. That is not the, Britain is not the homeland of the Britons. Britain for the Britain. That's not a thing. I meant it only in that regard. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, I get you. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Truck, for the donation. Asterisk countries rooted in British common law ? I think he's asking a clarification.
That's a good question. If you want to draw a route between them all, and well, no, because Germany gets it. It's an interesting point. I mean, you'd cover a number of them, Tickle Trunk, with the guy. It sounds funny saying that. You'd cover a whole number of them with that, with rooted in British common law, but that doesn't describe Germany nor France. And look at what France is dealing with right now in terms of its ethnic immigration and identity and.
Do any of the Iberian states have that kind of a stance? I haven't heard that much about Spain or Portugal regarding.
That's a good question. I wonder what is up in. Well, I mean, Spain's got its own problems with Catalonia and Catalonian separation and independency and such, right? I mean, holy fuck.
Yeah. Wah, wah.
Germany's on the far side of that scale, though, like Tickle Trunk said. Did he?
Just after that, he said, or German guilt on the other side of that scale, opposite to non-existent Chinese.
Oh, yeah. There it is. No, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah. They do have a lot of guilt. A lot of guilt.
Oh, God, yeah. For as I am told, I have not spent a lot of time studying the German political and social temperature, as it were, but I've heard that repeated, that the national guilt in Germany is pretty fucking crazy. But again, that's only what I've heard.
The whole idea behind anything Nazi related is harshly regulated and in some cases completely illegal. You get in trouble for that. I think was it Badger? Oh gosh. Yes. My one friend who lives in Germany made that point a number of times while on stream. That there were certain things he could not talk about for fear of being, charged for breaking the law in his country because he's in Germany. But okay, so the more that I look into history, the more that I read up about the world history, not just talking about Europe history or specifically US history. The more I learn about history in all of the African regions, in all of Asia, in all of fucking pre-colonial Americas, the more I read about just specifically everything to do with slavery, I'm just like, wow, humanity is the shit. And I mean, not the shit, the big woo, yeah. I mean, we are shit to each other. Absolutely god awful. The worst. At least we have been in the past. And in some cases, it's still the case. And I think that comes from extreme tribalism or tribalistic tendencies, which I get the benefits of that on an evolutionary basis, why we would have such strong tendencies. But at the same time, it breeds a lot of contention between groups of people. And those groups of people, more often than not, tend to seek retribution for any slights that they've suffered. So it's just the constant back and forth thing. So my question would be, is that truly the evolutionary way to survive?
No, not at all. If you're into notions of liberality and individual liberty and peace and security, you should be the biggest fan of the Western world, because it's had its failings, but nothing has, no single thing in human history has resulted in more widespread and more enduring liberty and personal freedoms than Western ideals. Nothing. And say, oh, well, are you kidding me? The British, the slavery in America is just, yes, slavery existed in the Islamic world for 1,300 years. It was only eliminated in Saudi Arabia in 1960, in the mid-1960s. I think it's 68, but I don't want to get the year wrong, but the mid-1960s. I mean, the Arabs have been enslaving Africans before a British person never stepped foot on the peninsula. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, people say, "Oh, I never learned about these things in school." I always hear that reference to the 1619 Project, and it's like, okay, stop being myopic. Look more broadly. I mean, it's just, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And so if the idea, oh yeah, the West can have all these high-minded ideas of liberalism and so forth, but they never live up to. Actually, yes, they do largely. You show me anybody else who even has those ideals enshrined. It's like, democracy was formed in ancient Greece, but the only people that were voting were white male landowners. And it's like, well, you expect someone other than white males in ancient Athens?
olive skin colored, Polly.
Yeah, well, yes, they were. They were
not
very.
That we actually know anything about the actual skin color of people back then. Were we there?
Far asked actually a while back, what's up with that otter? You can blame Jordan 250 for that. I stole that from a tweet that he sent out with a whole bunch of things. Junkie, why no blacks in the Arab world like there are in US? Jesus. Yeah, there are plenty of dark-skinned people throughout the Arab world, and they live on the lowest rungs of society. Plus the majority of African slaves, the male African slaves that were taken, were castrated. That was standard Arab slaving practice.
Of course.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And the people that are, you get the notion, you hear the phrase white Arab. I don't know, that is the ruling elite of Saudi Arabia and Jordan and white Arabs. If you've ever spent any time in those countries, even a short amount of time, even going to the airport, you will see all sorts of very, very dark-skinned people in those regions. Absolutely.
You know how a lot of woke culture are always going on and on and on about how westernized and white our history lessons are. Because you did talk about how we never learned about this in history class, and how we only ever learned, at least I only ever learned a very generalized basis, very watered down basis of history until we got to colonial America. And then I learned all about how we killed all the natives and how we enslaved all of the Africans, et cetera, et cetera. But, what I didn't learn was how complicit in that system everyone else has always been. Like, there was no other side of that. The impression you get when you learn about it in school is that all of these African slaves just manifested themselves upon our shores. They just
the slaves that were brought from West Africa were largely captives that were captured by other tribes and sold to
Dahomey.
What?
I'm naming off the tribes.
Well, and, the idea of the 1619 project is apparently it is like, why that year? Because that's the arrival of the first African slaves in America, and supposedly the true founding date of America is when slaves rose. Really, I think that's rather racist towards Native Americans. Why wouldn't you count it on the first slaves bought, the first time slaves traded hands in terms of ownership, that you could actually own somebody in North America by Westerners that involve Westerners? Because I can tell you where it is. It's well documented. Everybody knows it. The first slaves purchased in America that were bought by Westerners were bought from Indians that were war-captured other Indians, because the tribes some tribes raided each other. And everyone loves to run to talk about the one peaceful tribe that didn't raid nobody. Yeah. Anyway, there was like 500 nations of separate tribes in North America, hugely widely spread out, different traditions, etc. And a whole bunch of them raided a whole bunch of other ones, and they were constantly at war with each other. Oh, yeah. And then some weren't. Some lived in coexistence with each other. Yeah, okay. It sounds like complicated human history to me. It sounds like the standard norm.
Yeah.
And people bought or raided a fellow tribe and sold 5 slaves to Westerners that were on the continent. Why isn't that the founding date of your 1619 project? Because the white supremacy narrative that is currently trying to be pushed by the New York Times through their 1619 project, and the person that they brought to write it up and then backpedal off of a whole bunch of the claims of their bullshit pseudoscience, wanted history to appear to be black and white, because hashtag Black Lives Matter is the current thing that's running right now. Why don't you care about the Native Americans who were the first people sold on this continent as slaves to Westerners? Certainly not the first people that were used as slaves, because people had been used on slaves before a white man or a black man ever set foot on this continent, because they had been raiding each other for centuries, engaged in slavery. Just like you said, Weebo, slavery is constant and replete throughout human history, sadly.
Yeah. Even in prehistory.
Anywhere and everywhere. And the whole reason that I bring these points up is not West great, everywhere else bad. It's not the point. It's like, I like liberalism. I like individual liberty. There is a reason I am a fan of America, because it is based on the concept of individual liberty and individual rights. And when it falls short of that, it sucks. And I would like to see it change. What I don't want to see it change into is a bunch of critical theorists being able to garner enough authority to themselves where they can actually dictate policy, because they have no policy and they have no principles. The whole basis of critical theory is to say this thing sucks and that thing sucks and this other thing sucks. That's the whole point in it. A former professor of mine once said the problem with critical theory is that it's like the constructionist will tell you that a car is made up of these various things and it does what we want it to do, so therefore that defines it. The rationalist will say, well, here's the means by which the thing performs this car. It combusts accelerants within the engine, that puts exhaust out the back. It produces energy that is transferred to the wheels. That's what the rationalist is going to do. The critical theorist comes in, takes the whole engine apart, leaves it in pieces on the floor of the garage, and says, well, there's all of its pieces and they suck, and walks away.
They're not doing anything, so they're useless.
And so when I say I like liberalism and I point out other countries, this isn't whataboutism. This is what the fuck? Why are we focusing on the tiny little match that's burning instead of the huge conflagration fire that's killing hundreds of people in the buildings right beside the match? You like women's rights? Hey, fuck it. So do I. Why aren't you looking at the Middle East, where women have been subjugated by law for fucking centuries and still are to this day, and minor things happen in like Saudi Arabia? Oh, women are allowed to drive now. Whoa!
What?
Talk about stepping into the modern era. Instead, feminists form a pseudo alliance on social media and through news entertainment with Islamists. Talk about strange bedfellows. What the fuck? Feminism and Islamism? And it happens. What you two are natural enemies. You want to talk about where patriarchy is actually occurring? How about in the Middle East? Like I want to see global liberalism. I really do, but I don't want to see random people that are little more than critical theorists and have nothing more than complaints to offer, no principles, no policies, just whining and bitching, able to achieve authority because they can summon up a social media mob.
Yeah, I don't understand what just happened.
That was a great way to end it.
Okay, I'm glad that you guys heard that because that was beautiful. Holly, I love it when you go off. Oh, it makes my day. But I brought it up because I wanted to make a point too.
Well, I get it.
Oh God, hang on, I gotta calm down first. Oh, that was brilliant. I live for those moments. Anyway. Babe, you got perfect timing, I gotta say.
No shit.
You have perfect timing. So probably you just got done with a massive fucking rant about, the state of the union amongst other things and people being little bitches and shit in their opinions. And you go, I don't understand what the fuck just happened at the end of it. And everyone heard you.
Sorry.
No, what the hell?
Oh, he's closing the door. He's embarrassed. I love you. He's gaming. the infamous unseen third host of the show.
Right. That's the disembodied voice third host.
Wait, isn't it you? You're a disembodied voice technically?
Yes, I am. No.
Yes, you are. Polly doesn't actually exist, guys. He's just a voice from the ether. Whew. Anyway, okay, so I brought that up because we're always waxing poetic. We, as in the non-me people who are woke culture, are always waxing poetic about how history is so westernized and very specific, and it's all about the white man. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Fair. Okay, let's open up the discussion to all of the other areas of history that you want to speculate over. All right, let's have that history lesson. Let's delve in deep. Let's look at the actual historiographies. Okay, because I bet you that will be the most red pilling of experiences for you. No, not even red pilling, black pilling on the state of humanity and how horrible it can be to one another. Because there's just so much. There's so much. I mean, if you even just peruse the Wikipedia page for any country, and like you get to the end, you're gonna find out that country, holy shit, has been complicit in some horrible nonsense in the past. Of course, you can't take a country and judge it based off of the actions of the people governing it at one point in time necessarily, and let that be the thing. But that's what we've been arguing for, right, Polly? Like, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. It's not right to, except that there are people that would do that. And they only do it for very specific nations. And that's so irritating.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I am adorable. Birds and dinosaurs deal with it. Or birds are dinosaurs deal with it. I am adorable. Thank you. That wasn't that embarrassing. There have been more embarrassing moments. On this show, in fact, there have been more embarrassing moments.
Oh, so Weebo.
What?
Far in a shocking moment of lucidity and creativity, came up with a really good idea for a internet game, like a stream game last night.
Yeah. Lucidity and
creativity.
Yeah, a shocking moment.
Well, I mean, in terms of visual artistic matters, she's highly creative. Other than that, And lucidity. Let's not even go there.
Continue. What is the game? And how do I say?
Shocking moment of lucidity. Really? No, it was actually a good idea that it would be like The Price is Right, where name a price, but you can't go over. And the thing that you're trying to bid, as it were, or guess the value of, is GoFundMe projects that were successfully funded. And here's the description of the thing. What do you think people were willing to put in and fund this project for?
Oh, I like this game. Let's play.
Yeah, I thought, wow, actually, that's a really, really good idea. That could be fucking hilarious because there are so many really shitty things that were funded for unconscionable amounts of money on GoFundMe that were successful.
Can't confirm.
I'm like, yeah, that's a game good enough that Drunkle's probably going to steal it because like I've stolen like 3 games from him so far. So.
Do it. Okay. All right. So just go on GoFundMe and look for success stories.
Yeah, I mean there's the work of the game is spending some time over on GoFundMe, going through and finding little known oddball projects that were like, I need $5,000 to create like some asshole who claims he's going to be able to create a time machine and actually gets the $5,000 to fund to make it when all he wants is a old British phone booth, a couple of boxes full of baling wire, chewing gum, and some random fruits and vegetables, and claims he can make a time machine and gets the money.
Ooh, we can do wishes.
Far says it doesn't necessarily have to be funded, and in that case, it would be what they were asking for. Yeah, but people ask for retarded amount. Yeah, I guess it would just be a matter of selection at that point. I'm just thinking like, there's so many people over on GoFundMe asking for money for like, I need a new wardrobe because I gotta look fresh and on fleek and clean as shit. So give me $3,000 so I can go buy some designer pants or whatever.
But like, how do we find a truly hilarious GoFundMe? Like, you'd have to browse, right? Oh, see more. How do people just stumble across? Oh wow, this is
Well, it's like anything else. The work and prepping for a stream is with games is spending the time doing it. It's like going through r/whatever, going through Reddit to find the funny content, the cursed images, whatever it might be.
Well, they have like different categories for it. They have medical, memorial, emergency, nonprofit, rent and monthly bills, animals. Rent and monthly bills. Let's see. Tainted is selfish, so now we gotta fix his house. What? Okay, all right, let me read this to you. It was created 2 days ago. It's for accident and emergencies. It says, "Hi, I am bar_none, and I was just trying to take a break from TikTok, and this freaking guy went and let a tree fall on his house, destroying everything he owns. And now I have to do this. Why does everything bad happen to me? I swear bromances are tiring, but I love him. The simple fact of the matter is, Tainted Lyric has helped so many, and it is now our turn to help him. Listen, this man does very little for himself and is 10 times the man I will never be or ever be. And y'all buy my merch like it's going out of style. We can get him what he needs quickly. I, for once, am using the GFC for a personal reason because this man is my friend, and I am terrible with being emotional support, but great at financial support, so let's get to it. Full disclosure, I, of course, am doing this 80% for clout, but the other 20% is so I can get back to my break, but I digress. Okay, so the goal was $50,000. How much do you think people have donated in the 2 days since this has gone
2 days?
2 days.
$50.
$50 total?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't want to go over.
You don't want to go over.
This is gonna be like Price is Right. You're gonna get assholes going like 3,000, 1,500. One person going $1.
Well, remember, the ultimate goal was $50,000.
Yeah, but if you guess $1, you get from $1 all the way up to whatever the other person's bid was. You know, like it.
I'm not giving you $50.
Why not?
No, no.
You don't think that he even got $50?
I'm looking at it right now. I see what he got.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing $50. What do you get?
$46,021.
No shit.
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't.
Okay,
even
so
know what it's for,
me, you, and everyone in chat is thinking about setting up a GoFundMe with a story about a fallen tree. Jesus.
I guess. I'm trying to find one that isn't like politically.
Brad Young says he's an otter. Just give him clams. I love clams. I would be happy with clams, but don't send me clams in the mail. That's gross. Send me like a gift certificate. Jesus.
There's got to be an easier way to do this. Oh, most ridiculous campaigns of all time. Okay. All right. Here we go. There is an easier way to do this. Let's see. I want to actually see the GoFundMe itself. Where is it? All right, probably keep talking.
Don't mail clams. So, I'll tell you something. Far and I have been watching commercials from the late 70s, early 1980s, which are hilarious time capsules to a previous bygone era when like this is like certainly pre-woke stuff. And some of these commercials are just hilarious. And one set of commercials that keeps coming up are all these wonderful commercials for Red Lobster that apparently back in the day had all sorts of like great deals and great looking food and so forth. And all I get to hear about is Far complaining that looks gross and this looks gross. And it's like, we're talking like crab legs and oysters and just good, shrimp gumbo, all sorts of fantastic seafood dishes. And how can the Aussie, because like all Australians live within like a stone's throw of the beach, because if you live in the center of their continent you die, so you live close to the ocean, you have all this access to this wonderful seafood, and I don't get it. How is it that all Aussies aren't like the world's greatest seafood fans? I live close to the ocean. Well, close enough. It's I have a fishmonger right nearby, and there's fresh fish there all year round. It's whether it's imported or fished, and it's great. Aussies who don't like seafood, man. Like, I'm not saying you need to like all fish, but the sea is full of a bounty of just wonderful, delectable things. It's
Go away.
God damn it. I can still hear it.
Brad Young says when you can get it all the time, you don't appreciate it. Polly. Yeah. You know what I was amazed by, but probably shouldn't have been? When I was in the UK, I was just blown away. On every fucking corner was a fish and chips joint.
Really?
Like the British have really, like, they haven't just cornered the market on fish and chips. I thought, did they make it up? Is that like a British thing they invented?
No. Correct.
Battered and deep fried fish and chips.
Fish and chips is just fish and French fries, right?
Correct.
That doesn't seem like those would go together.
Oh, they really do. They really do. It also explains why everyone was so fat. I'm not trying to cast aspersions upon the British, but there was a lot of fat people there. Like, there were some serious mushroom or muffin top girls walking around. It was really something.
Yeah,
which also explains why so many of these angry shaved head muffin tops walking down into the tube, I believe they call it, and seeing those "Are you beach body ready?" ads got so angry. Remember that whole thing?
Oh yeah, I'm not beach body ready. I've put on my insulation for the winter, actually.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at that picture. It's like, oh well, here's a model that her job is obviously to be thin like that. Like, it's it's her job. And it's like, well, what does that woman eat? And then it became such a thing that they just inquired with the model through her talent agency, like, what do you do? And it's like, she does cardio workouts every day and was a vegetarian.
Ugh.
Well, there you go. Like, fat girl, who's angry? If you're angry at that picture, you don't think that if you switched to vegetarianism and did cardio exercise, like a cardio exercise regimen every day, that you wouldn't lose a fuck ton of weight? You would.
It makes me feel bad. I should probably do some cardio tomorrow.
Zombie Teddy says British women are muffin top fates. Muffin top fates. Huh.
Batter my fish box.
Nice, Peter.
I respect the hustle. I don't feel like potatoes and fish go together. I'm sorry. I just don't.
You never had fish and chips in your life?
I've never
Seriously?
had fish and chips. Swear to God. Never. Never ever. I prefer my fish to be raw, to be fair. And it goes better with rice.
Oh, hey. I'm a big sushi fan. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
What's your favorite raw fish to eat? I like tuna, personally.
Oh man, tuna is, but there's so many different kinds, right? There's like the belly tuna that's like dark red, that's like fatty, and then there's like the pale yellowish. I'm not sure really what color to call it.
Yellowfin tuna?
No, it is that yellowfin tuna? Is that a thing? Is that right?
It's a type of tuna. I know there are different types of tuna. I didn't know that there were different types of meat. Tuna colors. Let's see.
Oh, Zombie Teddy was trying to type fatties. He's just half a bottle in of bourbon. I hear you.
Fair. Okay. All right. Polly, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I looked up tuna color. And this is
sweet.
hopefully not going to get me banned from YouTube.
What would all those ones that are stacked there? It's look at that. Yeah, man.
Tuna right here.
Oh, hook that up. Look at that.
Woo! This is tailpipe tuna. Also yellowfin, which is also ahi tuna.
Okay.
This is, I don't know. I do not know. Are you talking about like this?
Yeah. No.
No. Or are you talking about like this?
Like that. Yes. I guess you just go there.
C E.
It was D, like crappy tuna. What's D?
I don't know.
There's no legend.
Blue tuna?
Doesn't look blue. No, but I know there's bluefin tuna. I get it. I'm cracking a bad joke.
I did not know that. This is
so many beautiful reds there. 6 says, yeah, no kidding.
In terms of cooked, I don't like it cooked.
Oh man, large pieces of bluefin tuna on a grill, unbelievable. Oh, so good, Weebo.
I'm hungry now. I want tuna.
Yeah, I want sushi in general. You know what? The sushi I really like, the broiled freshwater eel, unagi.
Unagi. I've not had it. I've really been sticking with salmon, and tuna, but I can branch out. I like crab too, in my tuna, and I think that's all that I've had. I have had like fried squid calamari. I think is that what it's called? Yeah.
Oh man, I love all the cephalopods in all of their forms. Cuttlefish, squid, octopus, shrimp, so good. My ex-girlfriend tried repeatedly to talk me out of shrimp. She kept calling them sea roaches. Too bad, lady. They're great.
You just got to make sure that you clean out the poop.
Nah, you eat the poop too.
It's good. It's flavor. But do you break open the tail and eat that stuff too?
Break open the tail
of the shrimp.
Oh, you mean like after it's peeled and the tail's been left off post peeling?
No. Okay, so most of the shrimp is peeled. The tail is still attached to the rest of the shrimp, and it's in like there's still meat in there. It's encased in the tail. You just have it like to bust it open and eat it.
No. So I do eat what's in there, but I don't bust it open. See, what you do is you squeeze from the bottom forward like a tube of toothpaste, and it just pops out.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. Like, you know where like the little fins are at the end, and then there's a little bit of the shell left.
Yeah.
Grab like right by like the
And
but yeah, by the actual fins of the tail, and squeeze forward like you would a tube of toothpaste, and it pops right out.
I've been eating shrimp wrong my whole life. Then my life has been changed. Thank you, Polly.
Well, I appreciate that, and also I'm being told that I'm going to be clipped for saying "eat the poop."
Lobster is closer to a roach than a shrimp or a prawn. Yeah, I guess lobster. Okay, so I like lobster, but it's not my favorite. Like, I wouldn't opt to have it, and I don't get why it's such a big deal. Like, oh, I'm gonna take you out to get something fancy. We're gonna have a whole ass lobster, and I'm like, why is that the expensive meal that is the thing? Why isn't it something better?
What's it? We were watching one of the documentaries on the history guy, which you haven't seen that channel. It's worth watching. This kind of like history professor in a bow tie just does like 10 to 15-minute videos on the history of a thing. And he's like, the history of lobster as a food. And he just talked about like, yeah, and it was cheap at one point, and then was for a long time was seen as low class food. And then its image, you know, in terms of economics, the perception is the reality, right? If something is of value, it's like black pearls for the longest time were not white pearls. They were, it's a rare genetic mutation of the particular oysters that produce the annealing, I forget what it's called, over top of the sand that produce it, you know, that it imparts a black dye to it. I think those were undesirable. And then they were seen as being rare. So there you go.
Oh, you know what? Black pearl, actually.
But I think black pearls are beautiful. They got this deep iridescence to them that the light goes through them and then shines back out. I think they look great. And now they're super rare and expensive when they were useless for a long time. It's like diamonds that have contaminants in them, if you want to call it that. They give them certain color ranges where it makes them slightly pink or slightly brown or whatever. Chocolate diamonds, they marketed them as, and now they're hotly sought after. It's like for the longest time it was clarity of the diamond that counted, the least amount of contaminants and particulates in there. You know, and now they sell rose diamonds because they've got a pink tint to them, and chocolate diamonds, and it's like, oh god, diamonds are such a fucking scam.
They are. If I'm gonna have like a ring, like I told a boyfriend of this, I hope he heard me. When he proposes, it cannot be a diamond, even though it's my birthstone. It's gotta be anything else. Like no.
I thought the most romantic thing you could do would be like get like a meteorite or a moonstone piece and highly polish it and put that there as the stone instead of it, and it would say, "Baby, it's one of a kind and unique and out of this world, just like you."
Now, you know what I really liked, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's a stone that changes color depending on the light that hits it.
Oh, cool.
And I really like that because, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of both of our eye colors, which have a tendency to adjust when hit with certain lights. Like right now, you think my eyes are really dark brown, and it's really unsettling to me because they're actually like more of a hazily green color. But it's dark in here.
Chat, it just got so girly up in here. Did you hear everything she just said? I want my engagement ring to be this particular stone that changes color that matches me and my boyfriend's eyes. Oh my god.
Thank you the next 6 minutes in Alexandrite. Like that would be preferable. We're ignoring Polly right now because he doesn't understand.
The exceptional levels of girlosity that are occurring in here.
Oh, you want to get girly? I can get girly with you. I can talk about shadow colors. Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't
Chad colors?
Eyeshadow colors.
Eyeshadow colors. No, thank you.
Exactly. That's what I thought. See? Don't test me, Polydub.
Hey, you know, Alpha Mega's right. They had those years ago. They were called mood rings. Exactly. It'll fit with your hippie image. It'll...
Rude.
Polly doesn't understand women. No, I understand women just fine. I'm just not willing to put... You know, hey, listen, if a woman doesn't want to watch my hyper adrenalized movies or something, then I can totally understand that. Speaking of hyper adrenalized movies that I'm into, Weebo,
Polly,
it's time to do two truths and a lie.
Oh, okay.
And featuring Jack Bauer from 24, hyper adrenalized. You see how I brought it around? That's what we call a segue.
I would just like to point out that mood rings change color based off of a temperature, not eye color or light. Thank you. All right, Jack Bauer, you were saying.
Next 6 minutes is having Dos Equis tonight. Oh, nice. Excuse me. Understanding women isn't the key, Brad Young. That's not the point. The point is situational sensitivity to what's going on, but mostly it's just being a stellar male specimen. Thus, they're attracted to you. Understanding is a secondary, tertiary factor at best.
Male specimen. Ugh, that sounds gross. I don't like it. It sounds like cold. It sounds cold. Not
Everyone was waiting for the mood ring knowledge drop there, Weebo. Go on.
All right. There you go. That's all that it is. It's not actually your mood. Although your skin temperature can be adjusted based off of like how anxious you are versus how fearful you are. You know, the more blood that you have rushing in a certain area says something, believe it or not, about how you're feeling.
I think I see what you did there.
Oh shit! I knocked down my headphones. Ow! Owie! Okay, Polly, your two truths and a lie game that you wanted to play.
Yes, we did these the other night on Noir Bar, but I realized we do Noir Bar at 3 to 5 a.m. So not a lot of people.
Crack of dawn.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you weren't there, Weebo, because you were off in pumpkin time.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna wrap it up here in the next few minutes because I got to get going. But
yes, you have a party to get to and women to slasher movie about.
Yeah, and I didn't even have to fix that old broken butcher knife. One of my friends said, "Oh God, don't go through that. Here, look, I got a crappy old dull knife that I've been meaning to sharpen for like a year. Just take it," because I was going to dull it anyways, a prop knife, and I did that like 3-4 days ago. It was just broke up my Dremel tool and so now it's dull as shit. So no one will get caught.
You do your whole two truths and a lie thing. Lion Patriot donated to ask, we still gonna play Conan tonight? I don't think so. Might have to move it till tomorrow because I still want to get the video out by tomorrow, and that won't happen if I'm playing video games. And the reason why we can do this tomorrow night is because I don't have to work anymore at the bar because they shut us down.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Huh.
That was in effect Friday. Like not because it's a shitty bar, but I mean like because we've gone back into lockdown. So yay me.
So what I'm gonna do is pop out chat here. Pop out chat. Move it over here. Actually, I'm gonna move it over. Well, hold on. I'm gonna move it over here. Yeah, there. That's good. Take my two truths and a lie sheet. Move it over here. And put this up here. Go over here. Share this screen over here. Share screen. Share screen.
Share screen.
Okay, so I am currently binge watching 24.
Yeah.
And I wrote these two truths and a lie questions at the in the middle of watching season 8 of 24. And these are based on the last 2 episodes that I watched. Now 24 hyper adrenalized Jack Bauer. He's willing to do anything. American Samurai, this guy. And I have pictures to accompany this to give a little background imagery while asking the questions. Go ahead.
I'm doing it.
There we go.
That guy.
There's our man.
Our man?
Okay. In the last episode of 24 that I watched of season 8.
Yes.
2 of these are true. One of them's a lie.
Okay.
1. Jack Bauer stole a government helicopter to evade a presidential order. Number 2. Jack Bauer had sex with a woman right before she was shot dead by a sniper. Or number 3. Jack Bauer kidnapped a terrorist suspect by violently interrogating him while driving.
Can I have that first one again?
Yes. Number 1. Jack Bauer stole a government helicopter to evade a presidential order. Or number 2. Jack had sex with a woman right before she was killed by a sniper. Or number 3. Jack Bauer kidnapped a terrorist suspect and violently interrogated him while driving. Brad Young thinks first one's the lie.
Okay. All right.
Stole a government helicopter to avoid a presidential order.
Wait, are you telling me that it's
No. I'm saying that's Brad Young's guess.
Okay. Okay.
Lion Patriot also says number 1, or is saying $1.
Number 2. And here's my reasoning.
Okay.
Because I don't think Jack Bauer actually gets laid all that often. At least enough that the one time it would be extremely unlucky for him to, the one time he gets laid, have the woman be shot immediately afterward, because he's also busy saving the world all of the time, or
right,
people and bodies from dying. And so as a result, because he is so busy being the hero all of the time, I do not think that he gets laid, and therefore that could not have happened.
Well, I mean, that's not bad reasoning. However, you're wrong. That did in fact happen. Jack Bauer had no, it's true. He did have sex with a woman right before she was shot dead by a sniper. The one that's a lie is Jack Bauer kidnapped a terrorist suspect and violently interrogated him while driving. I made that one up. I was trying to think, where hasn't Jack Bauer violently interrogated a suspect? And I thought, well, he was driving a car. See, I should write for 24 because I could come up with scenarios like that.
Yeah,
but see, that's not bad reasoning. But the one thing you got to realize about Jack Bauer is because he has plot armor, he's the one guy that's not going to die. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That can't be killed off. No one else is safe but him. Mm-hmm. And because of that, they visit upon him the most horrible of things that nobody else has to deal with.
So, like having sex with a woman and immediately having her die by a sniper.
Right. You nailed it. Like that's what you weren't wrong. Jack doesn't have sex that much because he's either like living as a hobo because he's on the run from the government that he was fighting to protect, mm-hmm. and whatever. And he finally meets a woman that knows what he's like and why he does what he does and so on and so forth. He makes a connection with a woman, finally has sex with her, and she's shot dead by a sniper.
The one time that they have sex, she gets killed?
That was the first and only time they ever had sex, and she shot dead through the window of his apartment right after they had sex. She didn't even have her clothes on. She was wrapped up in the sheet, like from their lovemaking bed.
Oh, his dick is one of those unlucky dicks.
I'll say it. This is the price that Jack Bauer pays for plot armor. It's pretty heavy. Okay. And I mean, and that's not the worst of it. He's paid far higher prices. Anyway. Okay. So second one, and so I have 224 in the second to last episode of 24 that I watched. And he did steal the government helicopter in the same episode that his girlfriend was shot dead.
Oh shit. Oh, you can't do that.
Okay. So in the second to last episode of 24 that I watched, which of the following things didn't happen? Ready? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
Wait, hang on. I got a donation from the next 6 minutes.
Sure.
This won't replace all the tips, but you can put it in your coffee fund. Sorry you got shut out of work. That happened to me for over a month, and it sucked balls. Take care, Weebs, and stay caffeinated to keep that winning noggin calibrated to own the chums. It's not the full-time job. It's the part-time job, but it's still, it hurts. It hurts a little bit, especially since I was banking on the election night being like a really lucrative night for me, but nope. So, unfortunately, that will not be the case. Okay, Polly, what are your things?
Assassin of the Grace says all the plot points in 24 are contrived to 11. Oh, yeah. I've tried to explain to people far, like, different people. Like, the show's extremely contrived. It's just, the executive producers of the show designed it to be hyper world, where everything is just amped up to 11. And that's actually the way they described it. Everything happens faster. People think faster. People run faster. It takes shorter times to get places. It's hyper world. That's what they call it. So yeah, everything's contrived and happens very, very quickly, but that's part of the high adrenaline thrill ride that is the wonder of 24. Where is it? Somebody said something that made me laugh. Oh, Daniel Fullman says, does Jack whisper then yell? Yes. Every 5 or 6 minutes he does exactly that. Yes. that's his style. Okay, here we go. In the second to last episode of 24 of season 8 that I watched, which of the following things didn't happen? Number 1, while interrogating a female suspect, Jack Bauer bounced her head off the table before punching her in the face multiple times. Number 2, a Secret Service guard was revealed to be a double agent terrorist when he was caught murdering the Secretary of State.
Like in the act of?
Yes. Number 3, a Middle Eastern leader was kidnapped and then executed live on the internet by terrorists, which didn't happen in the second to last episode of 24 I watched.
What was the second one?
Let's go over them again. Number 1.
Okay.
While interrogating a female suspect, Jack Bauer bounced her head off the table before punching her in the face multiple times. Number 2, a Secret Service guard was revealed to be a double agent terrorist when he was caught in the middle of murdering the Secretary of State. Or number 3, a Middle Eastern leader was kidnapped and then executed live on the internet by terrorists.
Number 2.
You think
because number 1 and number 3 seem just nutty enough, 11-y enough for them to be something that happened in 24.
You guess number 2. Zombie Teddy agrees with you. Brad Young thinks the third one. Pear to Bear thinks the third one. So the Middle Eastern leader being executed on the internet seems to be Zombie. It is actually number 2. That's the one I made up. Yeah.
Woo!
That number 2 did not happen. I tried going 11sies, like with somebody was caught in the middle of murdering. Like everyone's a double agent and everyone's a mole and can't be trusted. And, so I tried thinking of, but yes, a Middle Eastern leader was kidnapped, Omar Hassan, and he was executed live on the internet by terrorists. That happened.
Wow.
And number 1, and that's why I picked this picture here. Jack Bauer, while interrogating a female suspect, did in fact bounce her head off the table and then punch her in the face multiple times. But it's okay. She was a mole working inside of CTU, the counterterrorism unit, and she had sold them all out. And she was in fact working for the terrorists, and it helped them smuggle atomic rods, uranium rods, into the country to blow up Manhattan Island. So she was not a nice person, and Jack needed the information now.
She's like the worst type of person.
Yes.
No wonder he banged her head on the table and punched her repeatedly in the face.
Well, she was playing these games where she was like, unless I get a presidential pardon in writing, I'm not going to. And then she did get the pardon and then turned out to be lying and covering up still. So Jack went in there and like, I have no more time for you. I'm going to do my job and I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Okay. We're going to move away from 24 now.
Okay.
Last one here before I got to go.
Okay.
As I explained to the people on Noir Bar and to Far who already did this, and she's probably already tuned out because she's already done these things, done these questions. This is Commander William Riker from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Yes. He is portrayed as being, the upstanding, swaggering, stylish guy. He's supposed to be hilarious and well liked by all around him. In reality, he is an incompetent fool. Inept at command, is constantly making mistakes, and despite successfully combating the Borg, that was really more to do with his underlings than anything that he had achieved. And he did get really fat, Zombie Teddy. You're right. This is the most overrated character in the Next Generation, in my opinion. So what we're going to do here is go over which of the following things did Commander Riker in the course of Star Trek: The Next Generation not do to demonstrate how incompetent and inept of an officer he really is. Number 1, Commander Riker once claimed he was going to merely detain a suspect, but set his phaser on kill and disintegrated him out of revenge. Number 2, Commander Riker once addicted his whole crew to an addictive computer game he got from a pleasure planet. Number 3, Commander Riker once betrayed Captain Picard by conspiring with an admiral to develop a highly illegal military technology. What didn't he do?
The conspiracy one, the third one. Because the first two seem very inept.
The first two seem so. The ones who seem particularly inept to you are
more particularly inept because, like, okay, so number 1, you accidentally set your
deliberately set his phaser on kill out of revenge. It says he disintegrated him out of revenge.
All right, you deliberately. Even then, like, that's kind of obvious. That speaks to me of ineptitude. And number 2, it speaks for itself.
Yeah, he once addicted his whole crew to an addictive computer game he got from a pleasure planet.
Oh yeah.
And then number 3, once betrayed Captain Picard by conspiring with an admiral to develop a highly illegal military technology. And there's a bunch of Trek nerds in chat, I can tell. In fact, it is number 1. That is the one that didn't happen. Commander Riker did not deliberately disintegrate somebody out of revenge with his phaser, but he did addict the entire crew to a computer game he got from a pleasure planet. Grill and Pyre Pete says that was Wesley, not Riker. No. Wesley was the only one to not get addicted to the game in that episode. He eventually did because they forced the computer apparatus over his head and forced him to become an addict. But no, he wasn't the one who. It was Riker who went whoring around on the pleasure planet and got addicted to the game and then brought it back for the crew to try. And he did, in fact, conspire with an admiral to develop a highly illegal military technology, thus betraying his captain. Wonderful officer, this guy.
Oh, my neck. Ugh. You'd think that the lumbar support and the pillow would help to combat my chronic back pain from having to look around these bad boys all day, but you would be wrong.
I know people like, yeah, you use these on Noir Bar the other night. Yeah, I know, but I figured that we should do at least one game, and I didn't have anything developed, and I thought that there would be mostly people here who hadn't seen them already.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
Big sad.
And Lion Patriot is right. It was a cloaking device. The phase cloak is the illegal military technology they were trying to develop.
All right, kiddos. Polly, you have to go to your party now, don't you?
Yep, but it's not too far away. And hold on. I'm not driving, so I just... Oh, shit. Yeah, I okay, whoa. I've got 6 minutes to get clothed and blooded here. So.
All right. So, guys, say goodbyes to Polly. He's got better things to do than hang out with us tonight.
Not really. My ride's just coming. I didn't really. Yeah, I got the text message, so I got like 6 minutes or whatever. I mean, they can wait while I'm finishing up, but yeah, I gotta go.
Okay. So, Polly, you want to sign off then?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody who came and hung out with us for cocktail hour. It was good fun. Thank you, especially to everybody who donated. Really appreciate it. Helps keep the show going. And yeah, go check out my channel. Awesome stuff happening over there. It's a good time. Fun things. 100th episode of Comic Book Curation coming up. And then we have a whole bunch of guests, including Weebo, planned for shortly thereafter. And next 6 minutes, yeah, I should bring on him and drag Sinatra back and stuff like that. We're gonna, yeah, so a whole bunch of series of guests on there, and we're doing more noir bars. And I've got I'm posting a video of a my interpretation, my reading of a long beloved internet meme that's been around for a long time, and Far's collaborating with a artistic rendering for the background while I do it. It's gonna be a short video, but it's gonna be fun. It's something I started a while ago, and I was looking in my folder last night and realized I've got like 10 videos I started and didn't finish any of them. And it's like, wow, I'm really got to get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about our collab? All 29 of them.
Well, what about the men of the MCU?
Yeah, you're right. We should do that sometime. Sorry. I don't know. We can talk about it. Okay, you know what? Let's promise to the chat we'll get around to filming it or the recording of it this month so that we can have it out by Christmas.
Are we gonna do part 2 of whatchamacallit?
Oh, we could.
The Wookiee translation edition of the Star Wars Holiday Special?
Yeah, we could.
Because I mean, like, Christmas is 2 months away, so that might give us enough time to.
Let's talk about it, Polly. Okay. All right, Polly. I will see you when I see you next, chat. I will see you when I see you next, guys. Thank you so much for coming out and enjoying this fine evening with us. We definitely, we always enjoy this. This is a good time. Thank you to those who donated, who subscribed, who liked, who commented, who shared, and especially to those who donated. You guys make this stuff happen. We owe you. It's a good time. As far as content and my stuff, I will have a video out by tomorrow. This I swear. If not, feel free to yell at me. Not that that will happen, but feel free to yell at me if it's not. It will be out. The Halloween special will go live. I swear upon.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. I will. God, I'll have to watch AP's stream after the fact. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hope it's a good one. I'll watch it when I get back later, much later.
Anyway, so guys, have a good Halloween, the rest of your Halloween, and I'll see you when I see you next. Polly, au revoir. Have fun at your party.
I will. Thank you. Everyone have a safe night and get drunk, but not too drunk, because blacking out, people have choked on their own vomit. You don't want that to happen to you.
Did they promise Witch Christmas? No, we did not, and we will keep it that way. Bye, guys.
Have a good night.